Welcome
Yeah.
back to JD.
Claret and blue. Claret and blue.
Just taking the intro away. Right, so on this episode, it is going to be the return of the Premier League video. I know you've all been waiting for it for this upcoming week of great football.
Audio Jungle.
Let's get into the score predictions for this round and match week. So firstly, starting off with Aston Villa versus Sheffield United. There's only one man to come to this first, and it is Joe.
Oh, God. Sheffield United is a very tough team to go into first. I'd like to say that we've been training hard during lockdown and that we've changed our mentality. I don't know what's been going on inside the Villa Park and their training grounds. I don't know what's happening. Hopefully, our players have basically had something drilled into them, had some drive or some leadership drilled into them. Otherwise, I can't see any other result for the season than us going down. I'd personally like to see us win 1-0. But I reckon it'll be a very close game because it's the first game that we're playing and the first they're playing straight out of lockdown. So I'm going to say 1-1.
Alex, what do you think?
Well, I definitely think Aston Villa will come flying out the blocks after lockdown, seeing as the current situation they are in the league and how much they'll want it. I think they'll want it more than Sheffield United, definitely. But I think there is a margin in the class between the two teams, so I'm probably going to go for a draw as well. I'm probably going to go 1-1.
Well, just to give you some past games, Villa have lost 2 of their last 3 league meetings with Sheffield United. And Villa have lost their last 4 Premier League matches and have failed to keep a clean sheet in any of their last 9 in the competition.
Yeah, but that's talking about form. Form isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Things could carry on. You just don't know, do you? We might not know. But I think Sheffield United, I don't think they'll cope very well because normally the crowd gets behind them at Bramall Lane, but they're away, of course, at Villa Park. So I'm going to go same with you, Joe, 1-1, because, I think Sheffield United won't be able to cope very well.
Yeah.
Right, the next game is Manchester City versus Arsenal. Now, Alex, we'll go to you on this one first.
Again, it's quite a hard one because City were doing decently before the lockdown. Obviously, they weren't at their best, and obviously Arsenal were just getting into things again. I think are they still the only team that haven't lost since January?
Oh, City. Arsenal. I don't have a clue. Might be.
But yeah, I think if Arsenal can retain that form, I know they'll probably struggle, and they did lose in a friendly. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Was it Derby?
No, it was Brentford, I think.
Oh yeah, Brentford. Yeah. But yeah, I can't really see any difference in the score that I was going to go for. Well, that I would have gone for if it would have been played normally. So I'm probably going to go 2-0 to Manchester City.
Now, City have won all their last 6 games in all competitions against Arsenal. And I think that'll carry on, to be honest. I don't see Arsenal getting anywhere near City on this one. So I'm going to go 2-0 City.
I'm going to say 2-1 just because I can't see Arsenal giving up without a fight. Arsenal are a team that'll play really hard, but obviously they've got their issues in defence especially. So I'd say that it'll be 2-1 because Arsenal are very good in attack, but their defence will be shredded by City. And I'd just like to see them get a goal, to be honest.
Now we're going to go on to Friday's fixture, and it is Spurs versus Manchester United. This is the 8 o'clock kickoff, or 8:15, one of those. Spurs are 4 points off United, and a win would see them go 6th. So it's a crucial game for them. Spurs have lost their last 2 Premier League games against United. Dele Alli will miss due to mocking or post-mocking of the coronavirus rules. So he will miss that game. But I think when we came back from, I think it was the start of February, January, we started to get a good form and a good run of games of winning, and it was all like a resurgence type thing. And I think that'll carry over, because what I've seen in training this week, we won 3-1 against West Brom and 2-1. We played 2 matches, and I think hopefully that carries over. We've got Pogba and Bruno in the midfield, which I think will be unstoppable when it gets going. And I think we're going to blow them out of the park a bit. I'm going to go for, not blow them out, but a 2-1. 2-1.
Yeah, so obviously without Dele Alli, Tottenham are going to be suffering quite a bit. I'm going to say 2-1, because they have got some good... Tottenham have still got some really good players in their team, but Dele Alli will set them back quite a bit. And obviously with Pogba back and just the team that you've got, I think United will come out of this flying and it'll be 2 or 3-1 to United.
In my opinion for this game, I think whoever wins the midfield battle will probably win the game. And to be honest, with Dele Alli now out for Tottenham, and obviously they've sold Eriksen as well, and United just getting Pogba back and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield as well, and with Scott McTominay on such good form, I don't think United are going to lose this one anytime soon. So I'm going to go 2-0 to United.
Clean sheet. Right, the next game is on the same day, but it's an earlier kickoff. It's Norwich versus Southampton at 6 o'clock. Joe, where'd you see this one going?
So they're very close in the table, aren't they? Let me just get the table up.
Southampton are 13th, I think, and
Southampton are 14th,
20th.
and Norwich are 20th. So they're in the bottom half, the bottom quarter of the table, almost. Both of them, both struggling for points. But Norwich have been awful this season. They've been absolutely. We slate them, but I slate them being 4 points ahead. You can say what you want, but I can't say anyone saying that Norwich have had a good performance this season. In my opinion, they only have one player that's actually kept them relatively winning. So I'd say 2-0 to Southampton.
Alex?
I know Southampton didn't start very well, obviously losing 9-0 to Leicester, which is one of the standout results. But I think they've brought it back a bit more, obviously, with some wins that they probably shouldn't have got. And obviously Norwich haven't done well all season, so I'm probably going to go 2-1 to Southampton.
Well, a win for Southampton would go 12th, I think it is, with Everton on the same points. And Danny Ings, if he can carry his goal scoring form of 15 goals in 29 matches, I'll be very impressed if he does. But I think, Norwich aren't competing in this one. They've got numbers of injuries. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Norwich, Southampton. Right, the next game is on Saturday, and it is Watford versus Leicester City. Of course, Watford struggling, Leicester City doing very well at the moment. So, Alex, what do you make of this one?
Well, I know Watford did just sack the manager and get a new one in. He started quite well, but then he started to lose some games. And I can't really see Leicester slipping up in this one at all. They're on such good form. And some of their players have showed their class this season. Obviously, like Vardy always being that good, but players like Ndidi shining. And I can't really see it going any other way than a Leicester win, and I'm going to go 3-1 to Leicester.
See, the thing about Watford is that they'll pull through on the tougher games. So I'm putting 2 predictions forward for this one. I'm saying 1-0 to Watford or 3-1 to Leicester. They're either going to get battered or they're going to just scrape a win. Because obviously they overthrew Liverpool, didn't they, earlier on in the season?
Yeah, 3-0.
Well, not earlier, just a couple months ago. We were in lockdown, Jesus. This could go either way for me, but I'm going to be more on the side of a 3-1 win to Leicester like Alex, because they're a better quality team in my opinion. They haven't got a player that isn't a very solid player of Premiership standard, and they just work together amazingly well. Yeah, Leicester are a phenomenal team right now. 3-1.
So I can see why you're going two sides with this, Joe, because Watford have won their last 3 Premier League games against Leicester, and all of them have come 2-1. So and Watford and Leicester have got some big injuries out, with Leicester having Perez, Armati, and Pereira all out, and De La Feu is out for Watford, which is a big blow. But I don't know. I think Watford might get away with this one. I'm going to go with a 1-1. Just because of that defensive breakdown that's happened at Leicester. Right, so there are going to be some 2 teams, because some teams have got a game in hand, like Villa and Arsenal. So going on to this next fixture, it is Brighton in 15th place versus Arsenal in 9th place. I see this one. I mean, Arsenal, you never know about Arsenal, do you? Let's be honest. The last 4 times they've played Brighton, they've drawn 1 and lost 3. I think that's right. Yeah. So Brighton with the fans, I think it would make a big difference. But yeah, I think Arsenal will win this one comfortably 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same. Arsenal are almost definitely going to win this without the fans on Brighton's side. Obviously, it is at Brighton's home ground, but with no fans there, I can't see it being a huge difference towards Brighton when there's such a gap. Brighton are fairly safe from relegation at the moment, though. So they don't have to worry about it as much. They won't play as hard as a team that is potentially relegated, such as Villa. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal, because Brighton, I think, will put out a performance, but they won't. I don't think they'll have enough in them to hold off Arsenal for a full game.
Yeah.
Again, it's another weird one, because you don't normally think Brighton are going to pull anything out of the bag, but they do get some very comfortable wins against some of the big teams, such as the 3-0 against Tottenham earlier on in the season, which no one expected. But I can't really see Arsenal slipping up, even though they have done many a time this season. And yeah, I'm probably going to go 2-0 to Arsenal.
So we all 2-0 there?
I said 2-1.
2-1, yeah. All right. So the next game is West Ham in 16th versus Wolves in 6th. Interesting game, this one. Alex, I'll go to you first on this one.
Yeah, a very difficult one, in my opinion. Wolves I don't think they've done as well as last season, but they have done very well to stick with the same form they had the season before, to maybe even get into Europe again. And West Ham, not had the greatest seasons at all. Obviously, sacking quite a few. Who did they sack at the start? Pellegrini, and
then they've got Moyes, haven't they?
Yeah, they got Moyes in now, who I think could do quite well for them. But again, I'm not that sure. And yeah, I can't really see West Ham's defence, which has been shaky, not let up on the Wolves attack. Obviously with Jimenez in such great form, so I'm going to go 1-0 to Wolves.
Ooh. Well, West Ham have lost their last 3 Premier League games to Wolves. Of course, last season at, I was going to call it the Bowling Ground, then the London Stadium, Adama Traore with that quick counter-attack goal that won them the match 1-0. But I think this one will be sort of the same one. I mean, a win for Wolves would take them 1 point above United in 5th and 2 points off Chelsea in 4th. So it's a big game for them if United drop points on Chelsea. So I think Wolves are going to win this one 3-0, because West Ham, I think they'll struggle big time.
Yeah, so Wolves have got a very good team this season, obviously doing very well for themselves in 6th. And West Ham have been a bit ropey as well. West Ham have been a bit ropey, yeah. So I'm saying 2-0 to Wolves. I don't think that West Ham will be able to hold off from Wolves with their phenomenal team at the moment.
Yeah. So the next game is Bournemouth in 18th, which is quite surprising, and Crystal Palace in 11th. So a win for Palace would take them 8th, and I think there would be like 1 point above Spurs. Bournemouth, a win would take them 15th. So that's a big relegation battle if they win this game. But I think Crystal Palace with Wilfred Zaha, I think they're going to get a 1-0 victory, scrape one out.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth haven't been the same attacking wise this season as they were last season, obviously with Callum Wilson getting a lot of goals. And I can't really see anything other than Crystal Palace nicking 3 points, with obviously Zaha and Ayew getting quite a few goals this season. So I'm probably going to go 2-0 to Crystal Palace.
So looking at some of their past encounters, it's always been their last game was 1-0. The one before that was 5-3, so there's only 2 goals in that. And then the one before that was 2-1. I'm thinking the Palace will win by 1-0 this time. I think they'll both struggle without their fans, and it'll be a very standoff game. But I think Palace will just steal the 3 points in the last 10-20 minutes.
Who do you reckon will score?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not very knowledgeable about the Crystal Palace team, if I'm honest.
All right. But you think they'll scrape it?
Yeah, I think they'll scrape it just about.
Yeah. So the next game is going on to the Sunday fixtures. This is Newcastle in 13th versus Sheffield United in 7th. Joe, what do you think of this one?
Newcastle, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Newcastle winning this one at all. Where are they in the table at the moment?
13th.
13th, yeah. I can't see Newcastle standing, keeping strong against Sheffield United, who are obviously doing very well for themselves this season. A very strong team. And, yeah, I don't see Newcastle being able to hold off for 90 minutes. So I'm saying 1-0 to Sheffield United, maybe 2-0.
What about you, Alex?
Again, it's another very good, difficult one. With Newcastle actually improving their attack a lot this season with St. Maximin coming in, Almiron, and obviously Joelinton not doing that well this season. But you never know, he could reignite his form that he had back in the Bundesliga. And yeah, that's what made Newcastle buy him. But again, it's another problem with them having a very shaky defence at the moment. And yeah, I think it's going to end 1-1.
Oh. Well, how weird is this, Alex, for you? If Newcastle win this, they go 1 point above you. So you'll go down into 13th. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's weird because at the start of the season we were absolutely tragic. But based on the form we've had with Carlo Ancelotti, you wouldn't think that they were anywhere near to us. But yeah.
Yeah. This is the first time both of these clubs have played in 10 years. 2010 was the last game they played. And there are some injuries for Newcastle which are a bit, not good for them, basically. So they've got Andy Carroll, Kieran Clark at centre-back, Gale at striker, Matty Longstaff and Sean Longstaff, the two brothers who hold that centre midfield and boss that really for Newcastle. So that's 2 massive blows for them already. Well, 2 massive blows for Newcastle, yeah. But yeah, I think Sheffield United will be the dominant force and come out 2-1 win. So the next game is none other than Villa versus Chelsea. Villa have got the game in hand, Joe. Where do you see this one going?
It guts me to say this. Honestly, I think Chelsea are going to win 1-0. I don't see us standing strong against that. Obviously, is Tammy Abraham back?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So with Tammy Abraham back, I think it'll be a a game of what's it called? A break.
No, it's 2 halves.
No. Anyway, basically, I think it'll be a very tough game for both teams. I think Villa will try really hard to basically secure at least a point. But I don't see us standing against Tammy Abraham for 90 minutes without letting in a couple of goals. So I'm going to say 1-0, maybe 2-0 to Chelsea. I would love to see us get a goal just to prove that we can do it. Because I think if we can win against Chelsea, it will set our player mentality. Because that's what we've been struggling with lately. Playing mentality and our leadership skills. And I think if we can secure a win against Chelsea, our players will see what a team we actually are when you look at the stats, and they'll see how good they should be, and they'll start pulling through. But I can't see it happening straight out of lockdown. It depends how our next game goes, but I'm going to say 1 or 2-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Chelsea have definitely improved in the second half of the season in an attacking sense. I know Tammy Abraham started quite well scoring goals, and he's just slipped off through injury a bit. But yeah, again, Mason Mount showing his talent, and obviously Ross Barkley, who could be leaving, scoring a fair few goals as well. And with Villa's defence being very shaky as well, I don't think they will be able to stop Chelsea scoring at least one goal. But I do think Villa could probably get a goal as well. So I'm probably going to go 2-1 to Chelsea.
So a win for Chelsea will take them 1 point below Leicester, sorry. But there's some big injuries to notice about here, and Chelsea have got Reece James out, Jorginho out with suspension. So you're looking at 2 first-team players that are already out for Chelsea there. And Villa have also got Gilbert out, and Heaton and Wesley. I mean, Villa have coped well with Heaton and Wesley this whole season being out virtually. But I don't know who they're going to fill in at right back for Gilbert.
Gilbert is a very hard player to replace. He's carried us through a lot of games, and I don't know who would replace him with.
I don't know if you'll go 3 at the back, 4 at the back. I don't know what you're going to do. But yeah, I think Chelsea would be a bit too much for you, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. So I think this is a Monday game now. It's Everton in 12th versus Liverpool in 1st.
No, that's still on the Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, is it? Ah, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, Alex, come to you on this first one.
I would have had a lot more optimism if it hadn't been put back. Just down to the fact that Liverpool were on quite bad form, losing to Atletico and Watford, I think, in the same week, was it?
Yeah.
And yeah, that would have filled me with a bit more confidence. But again, I'm not sure what form we'll come back into. And it's just down to the players' mentality, to be honest. Whichever team wants to win it more in this match will probably end up winning it. And for that reason, I'm going to go for 1-1.
Ooh. Joe?
With the Liverpool squad that they have, I think Liverpool will win this. Obviously, they did have a crushing week losing to Watford and Atletico. And I think if you played that game there, you might have had a chance to win it 2-1, maybe 1-0. But I don't think now, after all the training they'll have been doing, well, when they can, obviously, I don't think now with their squad compared to yours, I don't think that you win it. So I'm saying 2-1 Liverpool.
Right. Well, I don't think you'll like this stat, to be honest, Alex. But in the previous 22 matches, Liverpool have won 11, you've won 1, and you've both drawn 10. So it's not very favouring your side, is it, really? But there are some big injuries out for both teams. Starting off with Liverpool, they've got Robertson out, Salah and Shaqiri. They've also got, for Everton out, Gumbabin, Tosin, Delph, Walcott and Mina. Who are you going to replace Mina with?
Well, as I say, we've got Holgate and Keane, who are probably both starting centre-backs. But again, we brought a youth academy player called Nathan Branthwaite, who we just signed in January from the Championship club. I can't remember which one it was. and he's supposed to be getting into the first team quite soon. It's probably not a good idea to start his first game against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. But yeah, I'm hoping we start Keane and Holgate, but he could switch up a bit and you never know.
Yeah, and also a player to watch out for is Trent Alexander-Arnold, without a doubt. 12 assists in 29 games for a fullback. I don't know how he's done that, but yeah, it's magical. But anyway, getting onto the scoreline. I don't want to say it to you, Alex, but I think they're going to blow you out of the park here. I think they're going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. I think you're going to struggle.
We scored, to be honest.
What you say?
I'd be surprised if we scored. I don't think we scored in like the last 3. So, yeah. Oh wait, yeah, we scored at Anfield twice, but we did concede 5. So
Coronavirus is due to set Premier League clubs back by £1 billion. This is after they've lost £5 billion last year. 50% of this reduction in profit is due to them changing their broadcasters. So they're obviously going to the BBC. Is it 33 of the games are going for the BBC?
I thought it was 25, and I think 64 were going to Sky Sports, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, so there's 25 games going to the BBC, which is free, meaning they're not going to get paid as much for that, and also because they don't get match day revenue. So obviously they are changing the broadcasters of the games to the BBC for however many it was, 25 I think, and then that's going to reduce their profits a lot. But that is to boost the morale of the country. That's a decision that the Premier League have taken to try and boost the morale of everyone around the country so that they can watch football and be happy. Do you think that's a good move for the Premiership?
Yeah, I mean, people are at home, aren't they? And they want something to entertain them. And what's the best place to do it? And the national sport, football. Alex, sorry, what are you saying?
Yeah, it's probably better in the short term, but overall, if clubs are going to be losing that much money, I think they'd prefer not to watch the games televised, because that could, for smaller teams who probably can't control their financial well-being as well as some other teams, them losing that amount of money could have negative circumstances on them. So yeah, it's kind of a 50-50 at the moment. If they're going to televise a lot of games free, it will certainly please the fans, I think, and certainly getting the refunds back for the season tickets will definitely please them as well. So yeah, probably a benefit.
Okay, so So obviously with the Liverpool, the controversy about the Liverpool and Everton game, it was there was a bit of thing going on saying whether it would be at a neutral ground or not. I believe it is now scheduled to go ahead at Goodison Park. Am I right? On the 21st of June, and however, this does mean, because it's still on the 21st of June, Everton can't lose if they want to deny the Reds a title win.
Which we'll get on into later with the predictions, and that'll be interesting.
Also, players will be wearing Black Lives Matter t-shirts due to, obviously, the death of George Floyd. If you watch our latest stream, we experience some of the effects of the riots and what's going on over there at the moment. The initiative of players wearing Black Lives Matter on the t-shirts is going on, led by some of the captains. They're going to have Black Lives Matter instead of their individual names on the back of their shirts to basically raise awareness and show people like it's not okay what's happening and the prejudice and discrimination at the moment. Jordan Henderson, he's a prominent figure in the Player Together movement. The Player Together movement are a bunch of players that donate some of their salary to companies associated with the NHS and the NHS to try and support them and show our gratitude in this time of obviously pandemic. As well as that, Seamus Coleman, Troy Deeney, and Hector Bellerin have been they have been the ones pushing this Black Lives Matter initiative. So obviously we need to show our praise to them. Honestly, I think this time is showing us like how good some of our players are, because they're not just doing it for the money. You could say that it's them just doing it for good. What's it called? Like good representation in the media. But I think they're actually doing this because this is something they believe in, and it's something that they want to do because of their conscience. And I think is really showing people how, I don't know, how supportive some of our players are with their money.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone else is working just as hard as everyone, trying to get the Premier League back up and running. Troy Deeney is not actually playing, is he?
Well, he has. 2 weeks ago, he said he wasn't training, but now last week even, he said that he's come back to training, and he is probably going to be starting and playing the games that are coming ahead. But
so he's gone back on his word then.
Yeah, but it's his choice, isn't it?
Have Watford got something up like to stop the cases, or like have they got something in place to keep him safe and to keep all the players safe?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just being treated like everybody else, all the other players. So
yeah, but like, have they put something there so that all of the players are going to be safe? Because there was quite a few cases in the Watford team, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think Mariappa was the one, I think. But I don't have a clue what they're doing, but I'm sure they'll be trying their best to keep him safe, to help his son, of course. Well, all those games to look forward to. Those are our score predictions. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go check out all the social medias. Anything else to add?
No, I think that's it. I think we've covered all the games, given our predictions. Thanks for watching. Make sure you stay active on all the socials. We've got a very controversial stream. I'm not sure when that's going out, but obviously watch that. I don't know if we'll just put the highlights in, but yeah, something big happened that stream. Watch that. Watch any videos of ours, obviously. It should be the only thing you're watching on YouTube, let's be honest. Yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know when the next videos are coming out.
And check us out on Spotify. That podcast that we did this week is out on there. And from all that, and from all of us, have a good weekend. And yeah, see you in the next one.